Hi, and welcome to Jules Voto's Photo Focus. The focus in this video will be on my recommendations for where to buy used photo equipment and also some of the things to look for. In a recent video, I talked about buying a Nikon F and what you need to look for as far as checking out the camera, either in person or the questions to ask and the things to look for when buying online. So in this video, I kind of want to expand on that and just go over buying photo equipment in general. And obviously, if you're into film photography, if you're buying manual focus lenses for the most part, they're all going to be used. There's very few new film bodies available today. So you're looking at used. Digital's been around over 20 years now, so there's a lot of used digital bodies on the market. One thing, before I get into where to buy, with digital bodies, there's a big advantage over buying film bodies, and that advantage is that you could tell how many times the shutter was fired. Shutters all have a limited life. Pro bodies are rated at 200,000 and up. Other bodies may be rated at 50,000 or 100,000 actuations, number of times the shutter has been fired. And with the digital camera, you can check that out. You could look online for your specific brand on instructions on how to find that out. Okay, so first let's just talk about where you can buy. There's not many local camera stores around anymore. I am from Philadelphia, and I think there's one left. There were probably a dozen at one time. So you're not going to find a lot of you're not going to find a lot of used equipment in local camera stores because there's not many local camera stores, and also the ones there are, with some exceptions, have very little used equipment. So, but that's probably the best way to go, because you actually can handle the camera, you could see it in person, you could fire the shutter, you could examine it closely. But again, there's not many options in that today. There are several online stores that I personally have bought from, and I'm not going to recommend a place that I haven't bought from. There may be others out there that are just as good, but I just want to go through the four that I have purchased from, and I'm just going to do this in alphabetical order, not to show any preference to any of them. The first would be Adorama in New York City. They have a huge selection of used equipment, both digital and film, lenses, accessories, and so forth. All these stores have a rating system. Adorama uses a letter system: excellent plus, excellent, excellent minus, and so forth. You could go on their website and it will explain what each of those designations mean. They also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you buy a camera or a lens, you got a little bit of time to check it out. If it doesn't meet your standards, you could just send it back for a full refund. They also offer a 180-day warranty on most of their used equipment, except those that are sold as is, they rate them as X, or equipment that's rated in their rating system as an F. Again, go to their website to look at how this rating system works. Next, and this is a place I have bought for many years, B&H Photo Video, also in New York City. They also have a 30-day return policy and also have a 90-day parts and labor warranty. B&H has a number rating system for their used equipment, 7 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. B&H doesn't have quite the selection that Adorama has. You'll find a lot of newer equipment at B&H, not too much of the old 60s film bodies. Okay, in fact, I just recently searched for Nikon F2 and it came up with some accessories, but no F2s. Next is probably the largest of the ones that I have dealt with, and that is KEH in Smyrna, Georgia. They have a huge selection of used equipment. Their rating system is like new minus, excellent, excellent, excellent plus, and so forth. They have a 180-day warranty, which I believe recently was expanded, I believe for a limited time, to 365 days. So you're getting a full year warranty. But again, check their website to be sure. I think that was for a limited time, that 365-day warranty. They also have a 21-day return policy. And again, that warranty does not extend to equipment that's sold as is. Finally, another one that I have dealt with, they are based in Indianapolis, is Roberts Camera. Now, Roberts Camera sells new equipment. Or actually, all of these sellers sell new equipment as well. But Roberts Camera's used online eBay store is called Used Photo Pro. And you could find it through the Roberts Camera website or go right to Used Photo Pro. Their rating system is mint, excellent, good, fair, and so forth. They also offer a 180-day warranty on most of their used equipment, except for those items that are rated as poor or inoperable. There's no return on the inoperable items. And they also offer a 14-day return policy on used equipment. So, you order a camera or a lens, you receive it, and it's just not what you thought it was, you can return it. But they are all four of these sellers do a really good job and they're very honest in their descriptions. I think one time I bought from one of them, and it was an autofocus 300mm lens, and the autofocus motor was whining, and that's a sign that it's starting to fail. I called them up, told them about it, no problem. They gave me a return authorization. I returned it, and they had several models of that lens. They sent me another lens. And so again, I would highly recommend any of these stores. I'm just checking my notes here. Again, they all have return policies. They all offer various warranties. All right, so where else? Where else can you find equipment? I mentioned the local camera store, thrift stores. You never know what you're going to find in a thrift store. You're not going to find a huge selection, but every once in a while you can come up with something. Again, the advantage is you can handle it in person. Estate sales. Sometimes you may find something. Look in the newspaper when they list estate sales. You could find something there. Even garage sales. I know someone who years ago picked up an old Leica screw thread rangefinder camera for $20 at a garage sale. So, that's another thing you can look for. And finally would be online marketplaces. And the one that I have dealt with and probably bought more used equipment than from anywhere else is eBay. Now, you got to be careful with eBay. There's a lot of great sellers on eBay, but there's some who aren't so reputable. But, my advice is just to read the listing carefully, look carefully at the photos, look at their feedback rating, see if they have a return policy. Many of them do. Many of them will offer a 14-day return policy. Try to buy in lots. I have found you get better deals if you buy a lot. They may list a couple bodies, some lenses, some other accessories, and usually you do better. You will get excellent equipment from Japan. If you're into Nikon F2s, you will see a ton of Nikon F2s listed for sale from Japan. I never had a problem buying from Japan. Their descriptions usually are right on the money. You're going to pay a little more, however, but you're going to get excellent equipment. And also, of course, the shipping will be more. There's other online marketplaces. I've never dealt with them, but again, the same advice goes. Read the listing carefully, look at feedback ratings, and ask questions. Sellers are more than happy to answer any questions you may have. If it's a digital camera, usually they will list the number of actuations, the number of times that shutter was fired. So if they don't, ask that question. They may not know how to determine that. It's very easy. You can just go online and find that out. As far as what to look for, with a body, obviously, you want to make sure the shutter is working properly. That could be an expensive repair. A lot of times they'll say shutter sounds fine. When you get the camera, check it out. Check it out. Make sure the speeds are sound right. 1 second is easy to determine. As you go up the range of shutter speeds, they should sound faster. Open the back of the camera if it's a film camera and look at the shutter. Make sure there's no crinkling if it's a titanium shutter or a metal shutter or a cloth shutter. Make sure it looks smooth. Take the lens off if it came with the lens. Look at the mirror. Make sure it's not scratched. Some dirt on the mirror, some dust isn't really going to have much effect. Look at the mirror foam. Look at the light seals when you open the back of the camera. If it has a meter, a lot of times these old cameras from the 60s and 70s, the meters don't work. So if you want a working meter, make sure it says that in the description, and then when you get it, check it out against a meter of known accuracy. If you have a digital camera that you know has an accurate meter, just meter the same subject with the film camera and the digital camera, obviously making sure your ISO is set the same, and see if they agree. They're not going to agree exactly. Meters could vary a half a stop in either direction or possibly even more. So you want to check that out. And if it's not what they said it was in their description, if the shutter doesn't sound right, if maybe the light seals are bad and that's not something you want to get involved in fixing yourself, and they offer a return policy, send it back and look for another one. So as far as lenses go, make sure the focus is smooth, that the focus ring on a manual focus lens is easy to turn. Look at the aperture. Look at the aperture blades from both sides. See if there's any oil on them. Some lenses, it's very easy to fix the problem of oil yourself. If there's oil on the blades, what's going to happen is the shutter may not, the aperture may not close down fully when you take a photo, okay? Usually through an SLR lens, you are looking through the lens at full aperture. When you go to take the picture, 5.6, f8, whatever, that lens should stop down to that aperture. If there's oil on the blades, that may not happen and the aperture may stick, okay? So some lenses, it's easy to fix. You just take a cotton swab or with some alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and you can clean the aperture blades. So look for that. You're going to probably see some dust when you hold the lens up to a strong light or put a flashlight through the rear of the lens and look through the front at maximum aperture, and you'll be able to tell if there's some dust. If there's haze, that's more of an issue. Scratches, some minor scratches on the front element usually aren't a big deal. It's more of a big deal on the rear element. Again, what else to look for in a lens? Look for haze, a cloudiness. That could be, if you want to take the lens apart, that could be fixed, but that could get complicated on a zoom lens. Forget about it. There's too complicated. Examine the lens carefully. Look for haze. Look for what they call balsam separation. That's where cemented lens elements have started to detach. You could look online for explanations of all these things: balsam separation, haze, fungus. Most cases you don't want to buy a lens with fungus or balsam separation. But again, some lenses are easier to fix than others. Some lenses you could easily repair these things. So, just do a little bit of research yourself online. And one other thing, and I mentioned this in my Nikon F buying video. Sometimes they'll call a camera by a certain designation. For example, they'll say it's a Nikon F Photomic FTN, and it's not. It's a Nikon F Photomic T. So just make sure you look carefully at the pictures and do a little bit of research on that particular camera or lens, and make sure it is what they say it is. Or another thing with Nikon, sometimes you'll see it says it's an AIS lens when it's a non-AI lens. So just be careful, read the listing carefully, look at the photos carefully, and you could come up with some really good deals online or in person or at any of the 4 camera shops that I mentioned. So good luck. It could be fun. It also could be addictive. It's a warning. It can be addictive once you start buying some of these used lenses and cameras and other accessories. But it also can be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And look for a new video every Wednesday morning. So thanks for watching.